morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you the most powerful Pokemon we have in the game at the moment. The one who's going to go and do the most damage. No, it is not the Charizard VMAX that does 300 damage, although, to be clear, that is a rather sizable amount of damage. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the Charizard GX that does 300 damage, although that is a sizable amount of damage. And no, it's not the Charizard GX that does 300 damage, although that is a sizable amount of damage. And no, it is not the Reshiram and Charizard that does 300 damage, although that is a sizable amount of damage. I am now officially out of standard format Charizards that do 300 damage. Never mind, I think we did all right. And yes, I know the GX rotated out. Shh. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are having a little bit of a chat about Maractus. How cool is that? You see, ladies and gentlemen, there are some cards around that we take for granted, that we don't really put much effort in, that very much slip under the radar. Well, the good news is, I'm here to tell you all about Maractus. Now, I know I'm not the only person to talk about Maractus. I know Andrew Mahone over on Tricky Jim has talked about Maractus in the past, but it's one that's been on my radar for a while, and I think it's time we talk about Maractus. What does Maractus have, and why am I saying Maractus quite so often? Well, what it does, it's got an attack for 2 energy minimum, which is not very much. 1 grass and 1 colorless. And you do 60 damage for every heads that you can flip. And you get to flip 1 coin for each energy attached to Maractus. So, if you've got 6 energy on Maractus, you flip 6 coins, and you do 60 damage for each head. If you can flip 6 heads, you're doing 360 damage in your face, Charizard. So, the question is, how do we actually make this work? Now, some people among you might go, Wassy, isn't that just Blissey from Lost Thunder, but lower? And the answer is yes. But the thing is that Blissey from Lost Thunder did 80 damage for each heads. But it was also for 3 energy minimum, not 2. And it was on a stage 1. Oh yeah, and it rotated out, so who cares? Now, another very salient point, there is a Cramorant VMAX coming. And Cramorant VMAX has got the exact same attack as Blissey from Lost Thunder, which is 3 colorless energy, flip a coin for each energy attached to the Pokemon, and then you get to do 80 damage for each heads. But firstly, Cramorant isn't out yet, and Cramorant is also a VMAX that gives up 3 prizes, rather than a basic Pokemon that gives up 1 prize, so I still think we can look at Maractus and have a little bit of fun here. So, the goal with Maractus is extremely simple. We need to pile as much energy onto Maractus as we possibly can, and then hope we can flip a whole bunch of heads. Fun to note that Bliss's attack is called Powerful Slap and Maractus's attack is called Powerful Needle. I'm telling you about how powerful they are, and it's literally there in the name. Now, there are some easy options here. Clearly, you are a non-GX, non-V Pokemon, so Twin Energy is going to work rather nicely here. It is an energy that provides 2 colorless energy to a non-GX, non-V, and as long as you've got a grass attached to Maractus as well, that just gives you 2 extra coin flips. Life is good. And you are a basic Pokemon, so at this stage, might I suggest a bit of the old Turbo Patch. Turbo Patch lets you flip a coin. If heads, you get to attach a basic energy to one of your basic non-GX Pokemon. Well, Maractus counts very nicely there indeed. So they're your ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill options, and you can certainly get quite far with a combination of Twin Energy and Turbo Patch, but it's probably not going to get you over the line. It's probably not going to win you the game. You need something just a little bit more. Well, one option you've got here, and it's not my favourite, but I would feel remiss if I didn't at least mention it, is the Hydreigon that just came around in Darkness Ablaze. You see, this Hydreigon lets you attach as much Darkness energy during your turn as you like. So you can essentially just go a little bit nuts. Although it does have to be Darkness Energy, it doesn't have to be a Darkness Pokemon. So as long as you play a couple of Grass Energy, you can just use Hydreigon to pepper all the Darkness Energy down and go a little bit nuts, and that's fun. But no, that's not my main goal here. My main goal is Porygon Z. If ever there was a Pokemon that demanded Porygon Z, I think this is the one. You see, Porygon Z's got that ridiculous crazy code ability that says as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a special energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Oh. So now, instead of just attaching Darkness Energy with your Stage 2 Hydreigon, you are attaching Special Energy with your Stage 2 Porygon, and that is an awful lot better. I mean, first of all, not for nothing, let's not forget that you can use this with Twin Energy. So essentially, you can use this to attach all 4 Twin Energy in one turn, which would count as 8 energy. That's 8 coin flips. And if you flip 8 heads, yes, I know that's a lot to ask for, but if you flip 8 heads, that's 480 damage, which is, I mean, it's getting into proper job full-on hilarious territory at this stage. This is more than we usually expect to do, I think is fair to say. But we've got a bunch of other special energy that do a bunch of other special things. We've got Capture Energy, that when you attach it, you get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. That is going to help you with consistency, especially in the early game. We've got Draw Energy, that every time you attach one, you get to draw a card. So this is just going to give you 4 extra cards drawn during the course of the game, which is going to give you extra cards in hand. Hopefully some of them are going to be special energy, and you're going to be able to roll in that regard. So you've got more extra consistency. Of course, one of the best options we've got here is Recycle Energy. Recycle Energy is just a colorless energy, and the ones I'm talking about here are colorless energy, but it doesn't really matter because you only need 1 Grass Energy on Maractus, and then you're up and rolling, and you can just go nuts with whatever other kind of energy you like, and certainly cards like Draw Energy are going to be pretty gosh darned good here. Now, one which you are going to have to use is going to be Aurora Energy. Aurora Energy is wonderful here. Now, you do have to discard a card from your hand when you play it, boo, hiss, etc., but it counts as any type of energy, and you're going to need that, or you're going to need some basic grass. I don't really care which one, but the problem with basic grass is, yeah, you can attach it and it's not your attachment for the turn, because you can just, well, it is your attachment for the turn, but you can still attach all your special as well, is what I mean. But the problem is, if you've got 2 or 3 Grass Energy in hand, you can only attach one of them, and then it gets a little bit awkward and a little bit annoying. But the other thing that you get with Aurora Energy here is the ability to go, you know what? Maybe it's not just a Maractus world. Maybe there are other things we can do. So, for instance, Eternitus, one of the very best decks around at the moment, 340 HP, and that's a lot to hit. It's quite a lot to hit. So, you can get a one-hit KO here, but you're going to need 6 heads to hit 360. Doable, but awkward. If you're worried about that, I don't know, maybe top of the head, just as an example, Rhyperior V. Rhyperior V is one that can come in very, very nicely here as a great little counter, because it's got an attack for 1 fighting 3 colorless energy that does 210 damage, and it's a very easy one-hit KO on Eternitus. And because you're playing a bunch of colorless energy, and because you're playing Aurora Energy, against Eternitus, you can just go, look, these flips are fun, but actually I can win the game in a couple turns with Rhyperior, let's do that. Or maybe you're against a Zacian deck. Now, firstly, Zacian is the best deck in the game, blah, 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 but also it's got a resistance to grass. And I know you can just attach more energy and try and flip more heads, etc., but come on. Wouldn't it be fun to just go and get straight one-hit KOs? Well, might I introduce you to Reshiram and Charizard? Although it's probably a card you've come across before. Reshiram and Charizard, for 4 energy, does 230. Now, to be fair, that does include free fire, which is awkward. But Aurora Energy will work. and then you're just going to be running through them like butter, which is kind of hilarious. And of course, your average Zacian ADP deck does a maximum of 260 damage, and you got 270 HP. So outrage becomes an issue if they attack into you, which they probably won't, which buys you more time to find the energy and attach them. And it doesn't have to be those Pokemon. These are just examples. The point is, if you're playing Aurora Energy and you're playing a card that lets you attach as much special energy as you like, you can go nuts. You can tech in whatever you want. You can literally look at any matchup and go, okay, here's their weakness. I will play this with Porygon. Job's a good un. Now, Glibwood Tangle is the last card we need to mention here. It is a stadium card, and it is absolutely vital for Maractus, because it says that when you flip a coin for attacks, you get to reflip them if you want. Now, it's all or nothing. If you're flipping 12 coins with Maractus, you either reflip all 12 or none of them. But that's okay. If you don't hit as many heads as you want, let's go and have another go. I don't know how viable Maractus is competitively, given that the 110 HP is quite low, and when you pile energy on, you then get KO'd, you got to get all that energy back. Recovery energy will work, but other energy far less so. But tell me there is a more fun, powerful Pokemon out there, and we'll probably have a little bit of a friendly, good-natured, but still an argument. And the good news is there is a very convenient place to have such a friendly, good-natured argument. It's the comment section, so go nuts, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.